Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. I have 6 inks that I picked up at the Melbourne Pen Posse meetup. I'm not sure if I'll be able to swatch all of them in one video. We'll see how we go. Maybe I'll split it into 2. So I've kind of 3 of them happen to be from one person and 3 from another. So that's the order I'm going to swatch them in. So to start off with, I have 3 inks. 3 inks I've never tried and was only able to I tried swatching them just with my dip pen at the meetup, but yeah, really don't know much about and haven't done any proper swatches of. So to start off, we are going to look at Tono and Lim's Trust You. This is an ink brand I don't know much about at all, but I liked the look of the color of this ink. I think also the way it's going to happen is that these 3 are going to kind of be on the lighter, less saturated side, and then the next 3 inks quite different, which is exciting. And also one of the awesome things, I guess, about going to a pen meetup is discovering people's aesthetics and ink types, and, you know, seeing how people think about ink, use ink, or also then curate like currently inked things. Did I say this was going to be a purple? Because it's green, but then there's purple. I'm so confused. Is it a chroma shader? Just going to look at the little sample I was able to do. Unless there was ink left in that syringe, which there wasn't. Consider me puzzled. I'm just going to show you this as well, guys. So I got to try some different pens at this meetup. Got to try 2 of the Tono pen, I can't even. Oh my God. What did I try? I tried also a Faber-Castell Loom in a broad nib. That's Sailor 123 with some leftover shimmer. What has happened, guys? What a weird start to a video. But I'm just going to show you this now. Look at some of the things I got to try. Someone had put it's supposed to be a Nagi Nutter nib, really interesting to write with. I want it there on AliExpress, like $5. I definitely want to try that. And then I got to try some Pilot Custom 912 with a music nib, a platinum music nib. But where's the one that I fell in love with? I got to try the Pilot 743 with the Falcon nib. Oh my goodness, it was so incredible to write with. So anyway, it's a drying purple. Is this a chroma shading ink? I'm so confused. I'm going to pause for a second and look up the ink, because I do like going into these things blind, but I am so puzzled by that, and see if I have possibly made a mistake and didn't clean out my syringe fully, but I'm pretty sure I did. All right, give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm back, and I'm also back with a voiceover because life. So it's the correct ink. As you can see, it is drying purple. This is a mind-bendy ink. I definitely recommend looking at on Reddit. Some people have some good examples of this ink on different papers. As you can see in the writing sample, it is quite light. If I didn't say it before, it's Tono and Lim's Trust You. Maybe a touch too light in like the writing sample, but again, I'm aware that this is a fine nib, and in the writing sample, you are seeing more of that, I guess, purple. I'm using quotation marks there, come through. But I definitely was confused at the beginning there. When I swatched this at the pen meetup, I didn't do a big swatch. I just did like a little scribble with my dip pen, and maybe that's why I didn't see the complexity of that pen. In that writing sample there, you can see it does dry a touch darker than when you first put it down, but I do wonder, even if fine nib, it might be a touch too light. Next up is an ink I'm going to mispronounce. It's Vinta Inks. I think it's Aegean, Aegean, brackets Armada 1944. It will be no surprise that I haven't researched this beforehand, because, you know, I don't have time for that. But I was really excited to have a look at this ink as well. The three inks that I'm doing today are all I think I'd put in the chromo shading bucket. Um, the the green, that deep green, jumps out at me straight away, with that kind of grey purple undertone. I mean, is it green? Is it blue? Is it teal? All in all, I think it's a really beautiful, and even you can see in the swatch, but especially in the writing sample, it's darker, and I am drawn to this one more because of that, because I could see myself writing a full page in a journal with this ink, for example, in a fine nib, if I was to use that without having to strain my eyes, and I'm just not sure about the one above. But I think another thing that's interesting comparing the two of them is when I was talking about the green of the Tono and Lims one, that almost looks like gold now, doesn't it? Yellowy gold brown, when you've got that real punchy teal blue green in this Vinta Inks ink in front of you. But all in all, I think that's a really beautiful ink. And even in that writing sample, it's a bit harder to see, but you are seeing some of the color variation, some of the chromo shading. Not as much as the swatch, but a little bit. I do want to get a dip pen with a wider nib, so maybe we can see some of the complexity and depths of ink a bit more. It's on my list. I just don't have the funds for it right now, but it's something I'll be saving for. And I just researching, wanting to get the right one. Do I go to the medium, or do I do some sort of like calligraphy nib on a dip pen holder? That I'm new to that space, so if you do have any recommendations, let me know below. Because yeah, I can see the limits. I like using the fine nib dip pen to see what it would look like if you're just writing with a fine nib, but you kind of want to see both sides of it, don't you? Oh, that was a ramble. So last but not least on this page, it's a Sailor ink. This one is, I've seen a couple swatches of, I think it might be a bit more well known. It's Sailor Itezora is what I'm about to swatch, but just going into a close-up of that Vinta Inks one now. Another chromo shading ink, and similar, or I would say maybe it's in the same family as the Vinta Inks, or in the same family maybe as Sailor Studio 224 if you love that ink as well. So we're talking greens and purples, maybe even some little bits of pink. While I get this swatch ready, I would love for you guys to let me know about your first ever pen meetup experience. Mine was incredible. I got to meet some really awesome people, people that I've connected with over here, Instagram, Facebook, from all walks of life. There were actually so many people there I didn't even get to meet everyone, but it was awesome. It was such a cool experience, and I spent close to probably 25 minutes talking in depth about traveler's notebooks with someone. And I was like, oh, I found my people. I have found my people. So I would just love to know about your experience. Anyway, going back to the inks, what I'm just looking at there is the comparison of the greeny bits of the ink. In that Sailor ink, you can see it almost looks quote unquote like a truer green, and it makes me see more of the blues in the Vinta ink that I didn't see before. Kind of where around the ring of where there isn't ink in that swatch, I think it's quite obvious there up the top. And I would say that this purple leans more towards a pink compared to the one up the top as well. Another thing, preaching to the choir here, but I think especially with some of these inks, they look really different going down wet versus when they dry. I mean, I just keep looking at that Tono and Lims one up the top. And then even that Vinta one is becoming, for me, more and more teal in the swatch, yet purple in the writing sample, which hurts my mind. This Sailor Itezora is another one that writes that just touch darker, which is a tick in my book. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm just going to do a close-up here while I'm going through them. I just want to say it was awesome. So if you were at the pen meetup, it was so nice to meet you. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will do the next 3 in another one. See ya. Bye.